Hi you guys, I wanted to do a video today to talk about the COVID vaccine. Now, for starters, I'm very big into you make your own choice, and science for me is usually the best thing. So that's all I just want to put out there right away. I have lots of friends, family, coworkers that are doing great on the vaccine. So that's awesome, and that's the best thing ever, especially in this pandemic. But let's talk about this is just my experience. This is to put awareness out there for people with bodies like mine who are on the fence, because if they are kind of in between, a little bit nervous, I want this to kind of help them either go, yes, I don't know that I would be like Sarah, I'm gonna go grab the vaccine, or okay, maybe I do want to wait a little bit longer. So for starters, I got it, I believe, like 11 days ago. So not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. I went to the Novi Suburban Show Place in Oakland County. First of all, shout out to them because they are doing an awesome job. They had their first mass vaccination site. There's 3,000 people in one day. It was so organized. The police officers on duty, the nurses on duty, anyone that was volunteering, they were so nice, so helpful. I was amazed. I hope someday I can see like a concert venue or something organized that way, because holy moly, I felt like so taken care of. And even when I had issues with like my QR code not working or whatever, they had like a backup system and it still worked in less than 2 minutes. So shout out to them. But this is where I definitely was nervous about getting the vaccine. I actually was saying no, I didn't want to get the vaccine because of my body up until the week of, and a lot of it had to do with close family, close friends who were just so nervous about me getting COVID. And so we kind of decided together maybe trying the vaccine would be best. And at this point, I was just hearing like my coworkers were coming back, or my family and friends are coming back saying, oh, I was just really tired the next day, I had a little bit of a fever the next day, like nothing that anyone can't handle. So I was like, okay, I can handle that. I handle a lot of things. So 12:45, I go in on Saturday to get my COVID shot. It was Moderna, and it was super fast, super easy. And I was like, sweet, awesome. I went to my 15-minute observation. It was a huge room, big space, and I started feeling super dizzy, and I was like, crap, I'm gonna pass out. At first, my first response was, I wonder if my anxiety was so high that it kicked in my POTS syndrome. And I did not want to go in an ambulance because I was so anxious, and nobody understood POTS syndrome because they wouldn't listen to me if unfortunately, I don't know when I am taken into certain situations if people are going to believe my body and believe my conditions and actually listen. So I was very nervous when it came to that. So I got up the courage to walk up to a nurse, and instead of asking for her for help, I asked her for the bathroom. And hindsight is 2020. I thought it was POTS syndrome or something that nobody would listen to. And so I chose to go pass out in the bathroom by myself. I texted my brother to kind of like keep him updated. I texted my husband. You can tell I'm still very short of breath. But I was like, I'll just wait it out an hour and a half. I was even so brain fogged that I forgot my license, and I had to go back for the license. They found it in a place with 3,000 people. Like, seriously, great place. Like, I have nothing bad to say about that place. I have only good things to say about the police officers and nurses that were on duty then. So I waited, probably about an hour until I felt okay enough, because I had an hour drive home. So I drove the hour home, and then I got here. My sister-in-law was over. My brother actually stayed over at my house until he saw me. And I just felt tingly all over. My face was numb, and I didn't feel like myself, like at all. But like, once again, I'm still saying to myself, this is probably normal with the vaccine fatigue. Like, weird things happen post-vaccine sometimes, and that's okay. So I was just kind of hung out on the couch. I was trying to like be as normal as I could for my family that was so kind to spend the weekend with us. But I was texting my husband the whole time about like, I am feeling so dizzy. I feel like I'm on drugs or something, like where I'm in a different universe. Like, I just was not here on planet Earth. But that night I slept well, and I slept for about like all day Sunday. I couldn't get out of bed. And Monday then, when I got ready for school, was when I noticed my heart rate and my dizziness were so bad. I got ready, got everything ready for school, and I was like, I do not feel good. I want to pass out. But I knew that Tuesday I was taking off the day because of my interstitial cystitis. I was going to get a bladder installation, which is basically a catheter with medicine to help the inflammation, and I'm still in so much pain from it. I was like, I needed to go. I needed to make that trip, the 3-hour trip there and back to do it. Like, I had to. And I'm very, very fortunate that my body always tells me when I can't drive. And I'm very fortunate for that, because not everyone's body is that way. So fast forward to Tuesday morning, I was able to make it to Grand Haven for my catheter, and I felt great. I felt like, okay, maybe this stuff is going away. I was still tingly, still was a little bit dizzy, like especially when I stood up and sat down, but I'm like, of course, then I started saying it's probably pot syndrome. Maybe it's still the anxiety. Maybe it's all in my head. But Wednesday, I started having like my heart was pounding so fast. And like with pot syndrome, it does, but not like that. So I reached out to my doctors who had recommended the vaccine for me, because I've been talking to all of them, and they were like, I haven't heard anything of this. Like, don't worry, you're fine. But my gut was still telling me there's something weird. Like, I shouldn't be having to, I shouldn't be having to hold the wall. I shouldn't be having to like have a hard time with my students when it comes to walking and talking and just doing normal things. And my tingling was still so bad. My face was coming back to normal. Like, it was less numb, more tingly. But I think I would rather have it more tingly than numb, but that's a very close one. But while that was dying down, my tongue and throat were swelling. But once again, you see like sore throat might be like a thing, tongue might be a thing, but I don't know, in my head I'm like, why is my tongue swollen? I did tell my doctors my tongue's swollen. Like, nobody was listening. Everyone thought I was crazy. Oh, sorry, this video is wiping me out. Okay, so on Thursday, I made it through the school day. Again, it just didn't, that was the first day that I couldn't even stand while I was teaching. And if you know me, I'm the kind of teacher that like does jumping jacks around my students or like races them outside and stuff. Like, that's me. So for me to say, hey guys, I need help, I'm gonna sit and we're gonna play Jeopardy and stuff, that's not my personality. Usually it's me jumping around while they're playing Jeopardy. And then Friday night, it got really bad. And it's really hard because I am an emotional person. But I have like this gut cry that I do when I am feeling just miserable. Like, my body is dying is what it's telling me. And I learned it because of going through the dying process with my neutropenia. And I had that gut cry. Now, my husband is amazing, and he's looking at it from a logical standpoint of, all right, what steps can we take so we maybe you don't need to go to the ER right away. What steps have we learned throughout the years? Like maybe like this is something we can do on our own. So I was like, in case it's an allergic reaction, I wanted to do quercetin. So I did my quercetin supplements. I did extra, overdose as much as I can in quercetin. Took extra liquid IV drinks. I did extra electrolytes, extra salt sticks, all my extra like emergency supplements. I did everything. My husband did everything. I had my compression socks on. Sorry, right now I'm like super dizzy, but like that's from talking. So I talked yesterday with my students. Hi, students. All right, so then I was just in tears all night, and I kept saying I want to go to the ER. But it is really hard when you have a crying wife on the ground to actually understand if it's emotions, if she's hit her like, I can't do this anymore point, or if it's ER. So, and I've never been through anything like this. And this is the first time in our marriage we've gone through this. So our pros and cons list was, if I make it through the night, let's see if we can wait till Saturday. Saturday came along. I felt better when it came to symptoms. The only darn thing I did all day was cry. That's all I did. That's all I could do. Caleb would tell me something nice. I would cry all day at him. He would tell me something easy, like, do you want to help with the dishes? I would cry. And like, this is like when, like, I think my body was telling me I'm going in overdrive. I'm done. So I slept again all day Sunday. Monday I got up for school, and I had to like wait an extra 25 minutes before I left for school to feel like, oh wait, no, that was Tuesday. My husband drove me to work that day, Monday. Thank goodness for my husband. So he drove me, make sure I was safe. I was able to teach, but that's when my breathing got really bad on Monday. And I couldn't take a deep breath anymore. I'm a yeller. Couldn't yell. It's a bummer too. I love my loud voice. I've been doing a lot of burping like that. Because my body's trying to be able to breathe and to give room to breathe. Yeah, that sucked. Breathing got bad. I couldn't really do much in between classes. I just sat my head down on the table. I gave it all for my students on Monday. But every 5 minutes in between, I could still like clean everything in between classes, make sure we were COVID safe, make sure we were keeping social distance. Like, I was still mentally there, but literally my heart and my chest was not. So Tuesday, I drove to school because I thought it was safe. It was safe for me to drive. But when I got to school, I could not get up the stairs. I got up the stairs, and you would not have been able to believe that I was someone that 2 weeks ago could have run 5 miles and then done a CrossFit workout and then done a yoga workout and then gone and hung out with her friends. Because I could not make it up 2 small flights of stairs, take a right down to my classroom. I couldn't. And I actually went to school because I was so excited I was going to see one of my classes or some of my students I hadn't seen since last year. And that was like part of my I was like, I really want to stay, like, because mentally they just make me want to get better. And I called the office. Oh my goodness, my secretary is stinking amazing, you guys. She was like, don't worry, you need to go home, you need to take care of yourself. She's got weird things with her body too, so I'm so grateful that she's just a listener and understands. And she's a mom, so she knows when she looks into my eyes when I'm not feeling good. She's got the mom sense. So I went immediately to the ER. The ER refused to listen to me that this had anything to do with the vaccine. And they kept playing it off as POTS syndrome. So they gave me a saline infusion, which helped kind of, but nothing for POTS syndrome. Or like that was just for POTS syndrome. They did the heart lung check. I'm great there. I could have told them that. I truly kept telling them I think I'm in overdrive. My body isn't too sensitive for the vaccine. And then after the bladder installation, imagine those two together. Like I didn't realize that I had that bad of a reaction. And then I like put more into my body. Okay, talking makes me very lightheaded. Think about how I felt 7 hours yesterday. Okay, I can do this. A couple more days. So, I was there for 3 hours, got nothing out of it. Except for a nice saline infusion, which did make me feel a little bit better. And the guy that was there was like the man when it comes to IVs. I have a really tough time with IVs, and I didn't even know he did it. That's how good he was. So A+ to him. Go him. Yesterday, I went to work because the ER told me I was fine, and it was all in my head. My face got puffy at work. My breathing got even worse. I literally sat in my teaching chair all day from behind my computer. There's never been a day in my life that I've done that. Pre-COVID, when I was like sicker than sick, during lunchtime I would sit under my desk so that like I love, like when I don't feel well, I sit on the ground and I just sit under my desk in a ball, but I could always bring it right back and jump for my students. I couldn't even fake it for my coworkers. I am the best faker out there. A lot of you with chronic illness know that. When someone asks you how you're doing, you say, oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm feeling awesome. Like even I can fake this right now in front of the video, even though I cannot breathe. That's just how we are. We have high pain tolerances because of the awful life we go through sometimes. Our downs are awful, and we have to get through it because just like the ER doctors, just like my personal doctors, they think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy because I walked down at the end of probably around lunchtime to see my secretary. She goes, you do not look good. And that is with my mask on. So that means this part of me doesn't look good. And first of all, I'm glad someone cares that much about me to notice that my nose and up doesn't look healthy because you can't see the rest of me. It's winter time. I'm in my coat. I'm in everything else, my hat. And she helped me make sure with my principal that I could leave early so I could figure this out. I went to my chiropractor, natural health specialist. They're great. They have like a very different stance on the vaccine from others, and so I love hearing from them, as well as I love hearing the people that are very pro and the people that are very con, because I'm very neutral. I'm neutral with everything. People don't like that about me. My husband's that way too, so at least I married the right person. But at least they were able to see the negative effects that it could have, and they're able to listen. But then, and they are holistic people. Like, they do not believe in like ibuprofen when you have bad period cramps. Like, that is how holistic, like, they are all natural, and I've never cried to them. I've passed out for them before. I've vomited for them before. I've done everything for them before physically, but I have not cried. And I cried and cried. And they said, do not feel guilty if you need to go the pharmaceutical route, because I think your body is going through some really awful things from this right now. And there's not enough research, and you just got to keep trying everything till it dies down. Natural, whatever, or pharmaceutical. And that was the golden ticket I needed, I think, to say, okay, I'm going to another ER. McLaren Hospital. They took me seriously. Oh my goodness, they were amazing. They were friendly. And I started crying for the poor lady and the student and there was a nice student there when they were taking my blood pressure, because I couldn't even handle I do those darn blood pressure things all the time. It's no problem. And I couldn't even feel my arm from it. And then I started crying because they were actually listening to me. 10 days of a severe allergic reaction from the vaccine. It took 10 days for 2 amazing women to listen to me. That is what chronic illness is, people. And it sucks. So please, 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 if you don't know enough about chronic illness, do your research. Especially if you work with kids, if you work with actually anyone, because your coworkers could be going through this. Be that person to listen to them, because they are forever, like, they turn my positivity around. Yesterday, I was like, I'm not going to make it through this. And I feel about the same as yesterday. A little bit better. But they believe that what I'm going through is real. And that was all I needed. So I went to see when they gave me the doctor came in, she sat down next to me. It's COVID. I haven't had any doctor do that in forever. And she looked at me in the eyes. And I felt like I could trust her by telling her about my autoimmune diseases. And that she wouldn't write it off as a flare-up. And I felt like I could tell her about my dysautonomia. And she didn't write it off. And she said, I believe you. Imagine someone going through a severe allergic reaction on their own with their husband that's never gone through this before, because we're only 6 months in. 10 days. Like that. I'm not an angry person, and that's not okay. So please do your research and be this amazing lady. I wish I remembered her name. I was so freaking brain fogged yesterday. I can't. She's got a little McLaren ER. She's got a little unicorn clip right on her shirt. She had like a bright, I don't know if it was unicorns or rainbows, like on her head. Like, she was the cutest thing ever and so nice to me. She said, you're getting steroids. I believe that you went through awful things to get here. I'm not going to make you test anymore. I believe you. So last night I had the first relief I have had in 10 days. It's really hard to breathe still, but I can do this thing called taking a deep breath. It's been at least 7 days now since I've been able to take a deep breath. And last night, on the way home, I took a deep breath. And by the way, also the lady that came in and administered the steroid shot, I asked her to do my butt because I have PTSD. Like, I feel like I have like major anxiety after my shot in the arm from Moderna because of how it reacted with me. So I said, hey, I'm going to freak out if it's in my arm and I know I shouldn't. Can you just do a nice little butt shot so I can't see it? And she was like, oh girl, of course I can. Like, and she's like, you're not dying, you're gonna be fine, and I'm gonna dismiss you on the dismissal fairy. And she was like, she's amazing. So I met 4 amazing women last night, including, I guess, the person that checked me in and out. So 5 amazing women last night who listened. Thank you, McLaren ER. Because they listened about my chronic illnesses. And they understood, I think, what the biggest thing that the doctor told me was, I see a lot of autoimmune and dysautonomia friends having some tricky times with the vaccine. And it is one of those would you rathers. Would you rather have COVID and see what happens to your body? Or would you rather have the vaccine and see what happens to your body? She said it is a flip of a coin and everyone's flipping it differently for people like us. And I know this is a really long video and I'm sorry, but I need to get this out because I was feeling really down with all the social media posts about, like, I'm doing this for science. And I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I felt guilty not getting a vaccine, and then I got one, and then this is how it turned out for me. Now, my husband, my mom, my close friends, my coworkers, they've done awesome with it. This is the best path for them. And I want to see them get the first and second dose. I want to see them be 94 point whatever percent protected from the virus. They deserve that, but not all of us can do that. I cannot get the second vaccine. I don't know how long this reaction is going to last. I'm praying that next week this time I can at least walk up the stairs to my classroom without crying when I get to my classroom. I hope I can joke around with my coworkers. I hope I can even fake it for my coworkers. Like, that is what I am good at. I have an extremely high pain tolerance. I worked yesterday, day 10, through an extreme, severe allergic reaction. That is how tough chronic illness, dysautonomia, autoimmune diseases, anything like that is. It sucks. So the next time, if you are someone with a chronic illness, the next time you are told to do something with your body, make sure it is don't make my mistake of going with what my friends, family, coworkers, siblings, everyone has a different opinion right now because we don't know about this. Go with what you believe. I have family members that have gotten the vaccine. They've been perfect, and they knew day one before this vaccine came out that was their choice. Make sure the choice is for you. Because I have an amazing coworker. She actually came to find me this week, and she told me it was okay if I didn't get the second one. Why did it take her for me to feel like it was okay not to get the second one when I am still having a severe allergic reaction? And a flare-up, like 4 flare-ups from 4 different illnesses because of this. It should not, I still feel so guilty because I feel like I'm doing something wrong in society. And that coworker set me free. She told me it was okay. So I went home and I said, I don't think I can do it again. And then, even though I have said that to 3 of my doctors, they are telling me that it's still in my head. I had one, though, who I hadn't had to talk to in years because I've been so healthy, and he said, do not get the second one. Your body cannot do it. He set me free again, and I don't usually see eye to eye with him. So, encourage people to make their choice, especially if you know that they have chronic illnesses. It's my choice to wear a mask because I want to protect people. I keep my distance when I can because I want to protect people and myself. So I take this extremely seriously, and I just want you all to know what's on my heart and mind because this sucks. And thank you to everyone that listened to me. Thank you to the coworker that walked your class in yesterday for me. It surprised me. Thank you for the people that asked how I was doing. Thank you for the text messages I've gotten. I get very few because so many people truly believe I'm crazy from this. My body can make it through anything because it's made it through hell and back. I can fake for up to 10 days now of a severe allergic reaction, but day 11, I can't do much more. So thank you to everyone that's listening. And just be more open when people have differences with this than you and are very neutral like me and just want to do the right thing. Okay, well, thank you for listening. And I have a lot of breathing I'm going to go do now. And I hope that in a week from now, I can say this is all over. But I'm going to give updates because if you have a chronic illness, you deserve to know my reaction. All right. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and my blabbering. My phone's gonna die, so it's telling me I gotta stop yammering. Have a great day. Bye.